What's up, everybody? We're going to be doing a live reaction today to the Elestrals Sunstrike timeline and manufacturing update that is supposed to come out here any minute. So, my predictions are that we should be getting a date for when Sunstrike is going to be released. My guess is probably the end of March, 1st of April, given that product will be available at Worlds, but will not be sold to the general public, only through the badge packages. So my guess is that during that time they're going to be getting product to local game stores and the distributors. So I'm thinking probably April is when we're looking. Hopefully we get a few new card reveals too. Maybe the official reveal of the divines that are going to be in here. Believe we're looking at Ares, we already know, and then most likely Hera for the Thunder Pantheon. So let's check to see if we've got the video up yet. And there it is. Looks like we've got about a 6-minute video, so let's go ahead and hop in. Get through our little Elestrals ad.
Hey casters, Dan or A-Drive here, bring you guys a full...
Let me restart that at normal speed. Alright, and here we go.
Hey casters, Dan or A-Drive here, bring you guys a full breakdown for Elestrals Divine Champions Sunstrike. The next chapter of Elestrals TCG is right around the corner, and this video is going to break down all of the timelines from when we're going to begin our reveal season to when it's going to release at your local game store, and why Elestrals Sunstrike is not the format for the upcoming World Championships. I'm going to give you guys the breakdown for everything in this video, so strap in. First, let's talk about timelines. January 21st is when we'll be sending out information to our wholesale and LGS partners. This is when the pre-order window opens up for distribution, as they need a little bit of a longer timeline to be able to communicate to their store partners. On February 1st, we're going to be opening up our e-commerce pre-orders for all of you, so you'll be able to pre-order Sunstrike through shop.elestrals.com. February 1st will also be the day we begin our reveal season. We'll be revealing new cards from Sunstrike pretty much every single day throughout the entire month of February. It's going to be an exciting time.
Reveals
our LGS
again. That's
pre-release
nice.
window is going to begin on April 3rd with our public launch for the set on
All right,
April
so that's
10th.
what I was thinking.
A few weeks ago, we announced that our World Championship taking place on March 21st and 22nd will be the current live stream format. And now that I've revealed the schedule to you, it should be pretty obvious why. After our live stream release, we learned a lot about giving the appropriate time for stores. And while some of that was out of our control due to manufacturing delays, we still want to make sure that we give enough time to get our stores and our distribution partners the product when they need it, so we don't have to have any last-minute rush.
I think that's a great thing, and
no
no
secret that we ran into
changes
some
to be made.
manufacturing challenges with a USA partner. Many of you experienced some chipping on your cards and some overall quality concerns, and I'm excited to let you guys know that we have figured out what caused those issues in the first place. I won't bore you with all the details, but the raw materials that we sourced to be the card stock had some issues with adhesion, ultimately resulting in some of the ink chipping off. Now, it's crucial that if and when we print with our USA manufacturer partner again, that we do so without any problems at all. We were going into it expecting the best of the best, and while the experience was really good, the end product was not what you or I wanted it to be. Thus, we are back to the drawing board with our USA manufacturer and working to find solutions for the future. This may come as a bit of a surprise to you, but we are actually not manufacturing in the USA for Sunstrike. Again, it's important to me that if we're going to produce here stateside that we get the product perfect, and we're going to continue to workshop that in the background. But for Sunstrike and possibly the future, we are going to be producing in China once again. Fortunately for us, we've been preparing for this for months. We had been workshopping and prototyping with a Chinese manufacturer for quite a long time, and many of you guys are going to be very excited to hear that it is actually not our previous China manufacturer that you knew from Firestorm or Moonrise or Daybreak or even Frostfall, but rather we are going back to our roots. We are going back to our Kickstarter manufacturer for Elestrals Sunstrike.
Wow.
What's actually wild is when I talk to Elestrals players who have been in the game for a long time, many of them revere the Kickstarter set as our best set we've ever made.
That is true. The card quality was probably the best.
They were sturdy, they were beautiful, vibrant, they had a really cool color tone to them, and ultimately the quality was the best of any product we've really produced. The reality of it is sometimes you learn lessons and sometimes you learn the hard way, and I think if I were to turn back the clock, if I had stuck with our Kickstarter manufacturer from the beginning, we probably would have the product that we all want right now anyway. So I'm really excited that we're doing this for Sunstrike. I think it's going to be huge for our game. I think it's going to create incredible quality with flat cards, vibrant hollows, and just beautiful cards in general that are very sturdy and feel premium to the touch. Most trading card games aren't communicating exactly what they're doing from a manufacturing perspective, but I felt it was important to continue this open dialogue with you. Manufacturing has been one of the biggest challenges we've encountered. We thought we had it perfect here in the United States, but clearly that wasn't the case, so now we are going back to our roots, and again, I think this is going to be amazing. So what does this mean for Sunstrike and our products moving forward? Well, the slight delay that we're encountering now is kind of lag from tariffs over the last summer, and because of this manufacturing change, it took us a little bit more time to spin things up. And again, I do not want to rush and have a similar situation to Livestream where distributors, stores, and my team are scrambling to try to get you guys the product on time. We're buffering enough time here to ensure that everyone can get what they need and enjoy their pre-release events in an amazing
this
way.
Explains
we are
the
on
long
track for proper timelines for set 8,
sets.
so I have no concerns there, and we're workshopping new products like our new Shattered Stars and beyond to create an amazing game and continue to build off what we've built over the last couple years. Shifting back to China allows us a little bit more flexibility in some other areas, as our double starter decks are returning in a big
this
way.
is probably the
best
best thing to hear.
This was legitimately my favorite product we've ever released, and you guys deserve those double starter decks, so they are coming back, baby. And don't worry, some of the amazing upgrades we made, like textured hollows and reverse hollow commons in every pack, are staying for Sunstrike. This shift is really giving us the best of both worlds. We're able to continue to work with our USA partners to get things perfect for the future if that's the path we want to go, and we're able to utilize a trusted partner who really delivered the best product we've ever had in our Kickstarter product to produce Sunstrike and perhaps the next couple sets moving forward. I've shown a ton of people the cards from this manufacturer at the Cards HQ event last summer, at my house recently, at Kissimmee. I've been showing these cards to people without them realizing what's actually happening, and I've been gathering feedback from players for a long time. The resounding statement is the Kickstarter cards were our best ones yet, so we're going back to our roots, and it is going to be an amazing thing. Sunstrike reveal season begins very soon on February 1st, and all of our distributor and store partners should have access to the catalog as of January 21st. April 3rd is your pre-release window for Sunstrike, and April 10th is the full release. We're gonna have a blast with this one. It will be our best set yet. As always, thank you so much for your support to Elestrals. I can't wait to show you the amazing set that is Sunstrike and our amazing card quality once again.
All right, so just to touch on a few things, I now fully understand why we have such a delay. I thought the delay between Livestream and Sunstrike might have just been trying to fix the issues. Clearly, these source material issues that Dan's talking about, clearly those are bigger issues than we thought, and looks like they're going to take some time to figure out. But to hear that we're going back to the Kickstarter manufacturer is probably the best news. Like he said, people who have been around from the beginning, like myself, these cards were the best printed ones, honestly, until Livestream, minus those chipping issues. We didn't see these pringling foils. The cards were truly vibrant, like they actually stood out. If you compare them to a first edition from the second China manufacturer, those cards are completely like washed out and muted. The Kickstarters were so much better. I believe the issue of why we even switched off of that manufacturer had to do with other production issues. I believe pack randomization, and like the mapping in the boxes, as well as when you get those, open those Kickstarter boxes, you're either getting like all of your hollows at the top of the box or all at the bottom of the box. They weren't really randomized throughout the box. So hopefully, now that we're going on to set 7 and we've switched manufacturers multiple times, hopefully this has solved a lot of the issues and things that the team didn't know when first printing the game to now, and so we can have those issues already addressed with the manufacturer. Hearing that we've still got textured cards, as well as keeping the reverses, and really not changing what the product is going to look like from an inclusion standpoint, but rather just switching it to get the cards printed to the quality that we expect for this game, is really good news. Moving back on the timeline here, so looks like our wholesale and our local game store pre-orders open right now. Today's the January 21st, so those should be open. So make sure to let your local game stores know, especially if they order from a wholesaler or directly from Elestrals. Make sure to have them start getting those pre-orders in. I know this is great. Make sure you check with them how long they're going to have pre-orders open. It seems like there should be quite a bit of time for them to put in their pre-orders, given that we're likely seeing the product being shipped in currently from China, or very soon, given that we're not going to have that stuff shipped out and even starting until April 3rd, which was kind of my prediction for when we were going to see the product actually available to players. And then it doesn't look like we're going to have any pre-order, like day before pre-order kind of thing, for Shattered Stars members. Since Shattered Stars doesn't exist in its current format anymore, there's not really a bonus for anybody who was subscribed to Shattered Stars. So it looks like February 1st we're getting everybody available on that. And then I'm excited for these pre-release events. I'm glad that we're keeping the products here, and still doing pre-release events. I think this was one of the most fun pre-release events for Livestream that I did. I would say I'm interested to see what this looks like now that Dan has told us that the double starter decks are coming back. I know this was a fan favorite product in Firestorm. I definitely love it because this takes you from having to buy 4 separate starter decks, all at $25 each, to buying 2 starter decks at, I believe the price was $30. I'm hoping that with the cheaper costs to manufacture in China and the fact that we're able to bring them back, I'm hoping that that means we're looking at keeping the cost back at $30 that they had done. A 25 would be great. I just don't see that happening given it's 2 decks instead of 1. But we will have to see once we see the full reveal of these products available to us. We should be getting a Thunder versus something, as well as a Solar versus another, as the 2 new divines are usually pitted up against 2 returning divines. I'm not too sure if we've really heard what those other 2 divines returning are going to be. I know I've seen some predictions of maybe Aeolus and Hephaestus as those 2 other. I wouldn't mind those, as Aeolus really hasn't gotten much support at all, so it'd be good to see him return. Hephaestus has gotten a little bit of support, but hasn't seen his full support return. The only other 2 that we have not currently seen, besides Hephaestus and Aeolus, would be Demeter and Apollo. We're going into a solar set with a new solar divine. We're not going to see Apollo this set. So Apollo's out, so we're really looking between the 3 of Demeter, Hephaestus, and Aeolus. I think Hephaestus and Aeolus make a lot of sense to include. Demeter probably theme-wise matches up better to go with Apollo in the next set when we're going to get our new Frost and Lunar Divines in set 8. And then global release is blocked by me here, but it's the following weekend on April 10th. There we are. And so this will see the full launch of the game. I'm going to assume that we're going to have a premiere very shortly after this, probably the following weekend on the 17th, just because this is when everybody should have product or have had the chance to obtain the product. And I think with the new timeline and making sure that the product's going to be available in hands of the stores to get this out to players, we'll see that premiere probably shortly after. I also think this timeline also gives the warehouse plenty of time for the e-commerce orders directly from Elestrals to get them into the players as well, because we're not trying to push to get these out super early to players. And if they're shipping that week of the pre-release or right at the pre-release, usually within that 2-week timeline prior to live stream had been the normal timeline and had gotten the product into players' hands. Well, that's kind of my initial thoughts on everything. I'm super excited to see what Sunstrike brings. While I hate that we had to switch back to China manufacturing, just because it was exciting to see the USA manufacturing coming to the game and what that could look like for the future. I know the Elestrals team is really doing what's best for the game, especially by determining that the Kickstarter uh, manufacturing uh, partners in China were the ones to go back to and work with again. Uh, that's super exciting to see. And then hopefully we do return to USA manufacturing in the future. Sounds like we might be looking at that to happen probably after the Divine Champions block, given that we have set 7. Set 8 really sounds like it's going to be produced in China as well, which is fine as long as these cards come out how we want them and we don't see some of the few issues we had with the Kickstarter. I think as long as the card quality returns to where we need to be at, I think we're looking at a really great decision on their part, and hopefully the source materials and other issues with the USA manufacturer can get resolved and they can become a long-term partner in the future for the game, maybe when we're set up a little bit better to partner with them again. Well, let me know what you guys thought of the reveals today in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on my shorts for our daily pack openings. And whenever we get some more news, I'll see you back. Peace.